I've been in fandoms for around 8 years now, and recently, people have been making me lose my marbles due to normies joining fandoms in 2020. And I don't really like using the word normies, but it's kinda true. So here are my top 10 fandom pet peeves, because I'm inclined to share my opinion. Number 1, cosplayers who feel entitled to an interaction simply because the character they are cosplaying interacts with a character someone else is cosplaying. God, I hate how this thing says that, but anyway, I feel this is very niche. I honestly get so annoyed when I hear people's story of weird convention interactions, because it goes to show how some people just don't have any regard for someone's boundaries and personal space at conventions. And I'm not talking about skits either, cuz it's obviously a skit between friends. Number 2, this one is something in the thumbnail, but those people who go, he can't be gay because he's obviously straight, to a character who has no confirmed identities. This one makes me want to rip my skin off. It's so obvious some of y'all have never been in fandom before 2020. And I'm not saying thinking a character is straight is a bad thing, I'd be a hypocrite, but it's when people who don't understand headcanon and having fun plug their ears when someone tries to explain it to them. Because, at the end of the day, making headcanons of a character will not harm you. It also isn't a new thing either, believe it or not. Shocking, I know. Number 3, ship wars. Along with number 2, ship wars also make me want to rip my skin off, especially in anime fandoms. Like, God forbid someone likes a ship that is rare, or maybe less canon but still be popular. Honkai, Star Rail, and My Hero fandom, I'm looking at you specifically. You guys are some of the worst I've personally been around. Here's a thought, try having a different opinion than someone without giving them death threats. Because at the end of the day, someone shipping Bakugo and Deku will not kill your entire family. You shouldn't feel the need to whine and cry like babies whenever they breathe in your general direction. And you know what? I get it. Ship wars have been around since before 2020, but I feel like it's more unbearable now, since people who are allergic to fun and have never been in fandom suddenly invaded fandom spaces. But anyway, number 4, people who claim you're not a real fan of a character just because you find them attractive. Are we genuinely being serious with this? I've seen this take so many times, and I honestly think people are just looking for more ways to have problems with people and be negative. Like, no, random JJK fan on TikTok. Just because someone thinks Gojo is sexy doesn't make you superior just because you're invested in his lore or personality. I honestly don't know where this superiority complex came from, but it just makes you look silly and like a negative Nancy. Seriously, some of you guys look like the Karens of fandoms. Number 5, those people who claim literally anything to be cringy or uncool. Whether it be cosplay, OCs, ships, conventions, certain types of fan art, etc. If any pet peeve of mine makes my head hurt the most, it's probably this one. Obviously, it's not number 1, but it's definitely up there. Biggest example I can think of is the Stranger Things fandom and those videos of people making fun of Eddie fans. I never really saw what was so funny about it. It literally was just people at conventions enjoying a shared interest, and seeing people who were in weird fandoms making fun of these people made no sense to me personally. It was no different than anime fans going to a convention and literally just enjoying themselves, not harming anyone. I could honestly say the same for Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss fans. Number 6, aka my coldest pet peeve. Honestly, I don't feel too passionately about it, to be honest, but it still annoys me no less. Saying kids shouldn't be at conventions is actual tomfoolery, and I'm not talking about kids who go to conventions. As, let's say, a Has-Been Hotel character, an obvious 18+ show, but people who are literally just trying to enjoy themselves. I find it so odd that people will complain about them being judged for being in a suggestive costume when they are literally in a public space where kids will be. And it's like, dude, there are 18+ conventions. Why do you insist on going to something that'll obviously have minors in it? But I don't know, I might be wrong. Number 7, those OC artists who trace from other OC artists and blatantly lie about it. In recent days, it's definitely more common in the Demon Slayer fandom, but I think it's always been an issue. Something I'm even guilty of too when I was young. And you know what? I'm also putting in those fans who use I for their OCs. Not the worst offense, but still really annoying. I'm not saying you should go spend your money on a commission, but there are definitely websites with OC makers that don't steal people's art. Number 8, people who spread misinformation about almost everything, lore, what a character's personality is like, or even how their own fandom acts like. No, Bakugo and Deku aren't cousins. The Has-Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss fandom are not the worst fandoms, and the My Hero fandom never forced Horikoshi to make Bakudeki canon. Not only is it the misinformation that is being spread that makes me lose it, but it's also the fact people will believe everything they see about something they don't like just so they can justify their hate toward it. Like... Number 9. People who say blackwashing is real. Come on, how does that sound? Logical? You're basically mocking something that has years of evidence and reasons as to why it's bad, all because you don't like seeing a character you like with a darker skin tone. Spoiler alert, it's not that big of a fucking issue, and it never was. Why is it so hard for some people to simply just block someone and move on? And finally, number 10, the best one. Saved for last, when people try and justify their weird Guna behavior by claiming a character is of age or is 1,000 plus years old. Especially those people who try and justify Guna art of teenagers by saying they aged them up. Trust me, you're no better than those weird lolicons. These people make me the most mad in fandoms, and it's pretty understandable why they do. Anyway, that's all I really had to say. Before I leave, I want to apologize for the text-to-speech voice again. I still don't have a quiet enough space to record my videos. Plus, I recently started school and uploads might be slow. Anyway, thank you for listening to my yap sesh. See you later.